Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from downtown Manila, late at night, but that's pretty common for me. Got a wonderful guest on the show today, and he knows as much as me, maybe even more than me. So that's pretty cool. And his name is Sean Littman. And Sean is the founder of Givesuite.com and Givesuite LLC, a SaaS company. He's going to tell you what a SaaS company. Most of you do not know what a SaaS company is, but he's going to tell you shortly. Years in the industry, doing it forever, but 10 years on a serious nature. We are a turnkey SaaS platform for non-profits. That means, and guys, I always laugh at non-profits because you've got to make a profit. You can't open the doors and pay the wages. So you call yourselves non-profits, but really you're in profit-making mode, just like every other business, right? Key achievements or projects disrupted a market that's been hurting the non-profit market. So his personal motto: caring, sharing, loving, supporting. It's pretty cool. And fun fact about himself, he lives in a hot spot. He lives in Israel, cool part of the world. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Sean. How are you, my friend?
Well, Jeff, it's an absolute pleasure to be on your show. I always say whenever I guest on a show, it's fun to be on the other side of the mic for a change because I do host and produce two podcasts of our own, Profiting with Nonprofits. It's been around for about 6 years. We've had over 100 episodes of some really cool people in the space. And our newest show, Beyond the Bottom Line, that we've now got close to 20 episodes. We got a YouTube channel. We do it as a marketing piece for nonprofit leaders. And we've also got a TV deal now on Bravehearts TV. It's a nonprofit television streaming network. So you can see it on Amazon, Fire, Roku, IPTV, and all major TV networks. So it's really
Fantastic.
cool stuff. And I've been
Tell
doing
me,
this for
with your
ages.
podcast, do you take the trouble to outsource it? Do you take the trouble to turn it into a mini movie, then put it on YouTube?
So what we do is I have my guys put the intros and the outros on, like the titles,
Nice.
and
Yep.
then we load it up on the YouTube channel,
Fantastic. That's the only way to
and then
do
we send it
podcasts,
off on the other
guys.
places.
Yeah, none of this
Yeah,
bullshit.
but
Because
also
otherwise
we
people
take it
forget
to
you.
another level too. But we also take it to another level too. Part of what we do for the Beyond the Bottom Line show is we give each guest their own indexed page on our website. So let's call it Beyond the Bottom
Lovely.
Line slash like nonprofit X. It's the video, it's a bio about themselves, link to the donation page, or they can sign, or we sign them up for our donation platform, and then we can embed a widget on there because part of it is, if they people making donations through that, we make money on that too. And we
Yeah.
also use it as a lead generation tool for GiveSuite because nobody says no to being on a podcast. Like, cold emails, cold calling. I've been in the marketing sales space for ages. Everyone says they got the best tactics for getting people in the door, but at the end of the day, no one gives a crap about you.
Yeah,
So if you're
that's right.
giving them something tangible,
Not about
inviting
you,
them
it's
on a
about giving
podcast.
value. Yep.
Exactly. And nobody says no to being on a podcast. That's why you sent me a link. I'm like, yeah, shit. Yeah, I'll be on your show. Like, why
Yeah.
not? You come on mine too.
Tell us about your journey. What inspired you to pursue your current career path all those years ago? What happened?
So I'll tell you, my background was originally in sales many years ago. I'm a talker. I like to schmooze. I like to hang out. I'm a connection conductor. I like to meet people and see who can vibe with each other. So been in sales, and I worked for a guy who was in marketing, and he's the reason I hate marketers because he was very transparent, selling high ticket items but low deliverability. And
Yeah,
I said, I don't understand a word you're doing, and I'd love you to teach me. And he wouldn't. So then I got into marketing by default, and I combined sales and marketing together because any idiot who doesn't know that sales and marketing work together is an idiot.
absolutely. Yep.
And I built out a whole bunch of things in the marketing world when Facebook ads were not as cool, and when ClickFunnels was still something that people talked about, and now it's an afterthought.
Mm.
And I got into and we built our agency, and then we pivoted into nonprofits because we saw a hole in the nonprofit space
Yeah.
with the Google ad grant because Google offers a $10,000 monthly grant for
Wow.
search
Nice.
ads,
Yeah.
and people were getting it because it's easy, but people didn't know how to do it because people
You
don't
waste the
understand
money.
this
Yeah.
stuff. Well, they didn't understand how to maximize it,
Yeah. Correct. They're
because
wasting it.
I tell people nobody's on the internet looking for your organization to give you money. It's just not how it
No,
works.
that's right.
So we created these boilerplate funnels that were designed to nurture people and create the conversation.
Mm.
And we had been using the tech stacks that these organizations had They hated them. We hated them. They cost a ton of money. They're fragmented. Everything, every time you grew a contact, you'd be charged more money. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. And there's no automation. There's no like marketing automations in this. So how the hell am I supposed to do my job? And then coupled with the fundraising platforms that are a crock and a half, everyone's out there to make money except for the organization. So I said,
Yes.
this is dumb. Let's do something about it.
Yep.
And so at the time we had we were using Go High Level, and it's no secret that our whole system is built on Go High Level. It's the base. We were
Yeah.
using Go High Level to run
It's
our
one of the best
agency.
in
And I
the
was
world.
like,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. And I was like, well, this is cool. Why can't we do this for nonprofits? What's the difference between a
Yeah.
nonprofit and a business? It's the same money, marketing, automation. You need the same tools to function. So we had version 1. It wasn't great. We kept learning over time with our customers and getting customer feedback, and then using our knowledge from the other platforms that we had been using for our customers.
Yep.
And over time it turned into what it is now. But the whole philosophy and the whole like company culture behind Givesuite is we want to give you the best experience of your life, so you go out there and tell your friends. And it's about creating relationships and connection and partnerships and building that connection, because Givesuite's all connected. Everything is connected. And
Absolutely.
it goes true to with everything else, is that your system's connected, so that your people, your organization's connected, so you can go connect to your people, so that way you can circumvent that back and keep building those connections
Just
and
like
those
the freeway.
relationships.
What's been your most challenging
Yep.
aspect of your work, and how are you overcoming it?
So again, being someone who, this isn't my first rodeo in building a company and running a business, so I learned from all the things I've done in the past. But one of the biggest things in the nonprofit space is that you've got 3 buckets of people. You have people who are like, take my money now, I want to sign up, I don't have
Yep.
anybody to answer to,
They're
so
the ones I
sign me
love.
up.
Yep.
Here's my, me too. Had one this week. We signed them up for the year, and then did a website for them.
Yep.
So then you have the ones who are like, sign me up, take my money, I love this, but I need to talk to my board. My board might be
Yeah. I need
kind
to
of
think
okay
about
with
it.
it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Right. Well, it's not even to think about it. It's the board has to think about it. And the third
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
is sign me up, take my money, but my board's a bunch of idiots and
Yeah.
they don't understand anything. We don't have a board meeting till X amount of time.
Yeah.
So, I've always been adverse to free trials. I never liked the idea of a free trial, because I feel like in typical SaaS, the free trial is very limited,
Yeah.
and we don't like to limit people, because limiting your growth limits your mindset. And if you don't go
Yep.
with an abundance mindset, you're going to constantly be limited. So we had some back and forth with a bunch of our partners who give us a lot of good advice, because they're also in the nonprofit space,
Yep.
and to try to avoid that pitfall of, because we're trying to get more people signing up for us. The more people
Yep.
signing up for us,
Sure.
the more
Well, then spread the
so
word.
we just
Yep.
yeah, so we just launched our Givesuite 60-day trial. And I
Nice.
don't call it a free trial, it's a trial, and you can go out there and there's no limits. You come in there, do your thing, get set up. We built everything so that you can go in there, and
Play
we're here to
around.
help you. We're giving you the full Givesuite experience,
Yep.
even though you're not paying us yet. And so far we've gotten 2 people signed up organically. We just literally launched this last week. We got 2
Nice.
people signed up,
It'll
and
work.
I do a
Yep.
lot of events too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I do a lot of events, and this is how I get a lot of leads. So I'm doing a big event next month for about 500 people, and then we're putting on our own event in June called Connection Fest, which
Nice.
is gearing up to be a huge thing.
Where's it? Where's the
So
event
we're
going to
gonna
be?
wherever you want to be. It's
Oh, it's
all
going to be
virtual.
online event. Yep. Okay.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be an event that has been like no virtual event has ever been before. We're partnered with a company called Gatherly. He reached out to me because he did an event with me once before, and he's like, I want to get in the nonprofit space. People, you're the nonprofit guy. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I mean, we haven't even like officially, we soft launched this event, and we've
Yep.
already got like close to 100 people like signed up, just because
Nice.
of all the connections and
Yep.
people in my networks and the people we're bringing on to speak.
Yeah.
So going back to my biggest challenge is getting people into the platform and making sure that they stick around. So by
Yes.
offering this free 60-day trial, I wanted to do 90 days, but the rest of my team was like, you're
No, 60
crazy. I'm
is
like,
more
I
than
know I'm
enough.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. More than enough.
Yeah.
To be serious.
But to get them sticky.
Yeah. Tell us an important moment in your career where you pivoted and changed direction a bit. What happened?
So when I've always hated running my marketing agency, because I find that marketing, when you're selling marketing services, you're really selling intangibles.
Yeah.
And you have to, people, nobody wants to be that scammy marketer that's charging a lot of money and not, and
Yeah.
and even, and people are like peed off at you for not quote unquote delivering, even though they're dumb. And so I had many times where I was like, I really want to drop my agency and just go full into this. But then I realized that I can't do that because the agency is also part of the whole ecosystem that
Yeah.
we built because
Yeah.
people need marketing
It's
solutions.
the engine.
And
Yep.
once they're sold, yep, once they're sold on the product, then you take that, use the product to,
Drive it.
help them leverage the product. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I wanted to do that, I sat down with a bunch of mentors of mine and they're like, no, don't do that. You're stupid. I'm like, okay, fine. You talked me into it.
Right. Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have made you so successful? What's been behind all that?
Honestly, just learning from my mistakes, being an outside the box thinker, being
Hmm.
observant in what else is going on in the market, and just building relationships with people and building relationships
It's all about
and
relationships.
building
At the end of the
connections.
day, that's what it's all
Right,
about. You know,
right,
if
and
you
then
want to make money, you want to make money, you got to
taking,
talk to people.
but it's also taking that feedback and that constructive criticism from people
Yeah.
and not letting your emotions get in the way. I used to be like
Yeah.
super emotional about stuff. I used to let things get offend me, and I'm just like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And so, like, kind of that, and then just really getting the right people to work with you. Like,
Yeah.
my
It's the right
COO,
team.
she
Yeah.
started off as a user of ours. She watched one of my YouTube videos and she was working for a nonprofit, and her name is Brandy. And she was watching one of my YouTube videos and she saw it on CRMs, and she's like, oh my God, we need this. So she sends me this email. I'm on a bus in Tel Aviv taking my kids to the beach. I see this email come in. This is like pre-launch, like when we were first
Yeah.
getting started. And I'm like, all right, I'll take the call. So it turns out she's also in Israel, and she
Wow.
like was like one of our user number two or something.
Mhm.
And she kept asking us loads of questions, getting us answers, like, because her background's in systems IT and databases. And to the point where she's just like, I hate working for these guys. Can I come work for you? I'm like, yeah, you can. And so Brandy's like the essential part of Givesuite. Like, she's part of the brand
Nice.
too. Like,
Yeah.
everybody knows
Wow.
and loves her. She's like she's your first interaction after you signed up.
So
It's
yeah.
she and the best part is she's like a grandma too. So she's like this really sweet, like,
Yeah.
loving person. And
She's the opposite to you.
it,
No, I'm kidding.
well, yeah, well, her one of her kids is my age.
Yeah. Lovely.
So
Wow. She's a
yeah.
grandma.
So, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like getting the right people in your
Absolutely.
orbits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I don't hire everybody. I don't like to hire
No,
people. And like,
that's right.
our like right now we're currently looking for a new head of CS because Brandy is working on doing bigger things. The way we're trying to do these things, we need someone who's kind of like her, but working in tandem with our developers. And we had some, we tried different things, but like, some they didn't work. So we're trying to really
Find the right fit.
get
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
part of the criteria is like, we need someone who's bought into the culture, bought into the system, bought into us,
Mhm.
and wants to work with us, is not going to be like splitting time.
Fair enough. Tell me, um, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret in general?
Honestly, I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of deep breathing. I've got 5.5 kids, about to have another one next month.
Wow. Fantastic. Congratulations.
And just like really seeing the bigger picture of it. It's, obviously y'all want to everyone wants to make money, but like, there's the
Yeah,
bigger
sure.
picture
Enjoy
involved. And
life.
when you're, and what,
Yeah.
right. And then when you're focused on the fact that we're helping organizations, we're helping people that otherwise wouldn't get the help that they need, because a lot of these big box nonprofit companies, they don't give a shit about nonprofits.
Yep.
They're trying to nickel and dime you every step of the way. And so, we're still able to do that, and like, we're still able to give that personal customer care and support,
Yep.
even. And that's my whole thing, is like, whether we're 50 users or a million users, we want to give you that
Yep.
same personal care and support.
Mhm. I'm just making a note here. I just thought of something. So I got to write it down before I forget. I was going to say it's
Nice.
about. I was going to say it's about. Pretty much going to say to you it's about the three S, and it was uh, family, friends, and freedom.
Yep.
They're, they're some of my I call those my three Fs, right? Because mainly the freedom. After I decided, not to worry about the money, the freedom just followed. It just flows. Beautiful. All right.
Well,
I'm
well,
about
it's
making,
also patience too.
yeah, I'm about
It's also
making
like
memories.
patience.
Yeah, memories and freedom
Yeah.
for me.
No,
Um,
no, 100%.
yeah, and you're a good talker and a good listener, which is awesome. That's some of your skills. tell us about a recent project of your many. Tell us a recent project or achievement that you're particularly proud of.
So I guess it's an achievement, but I've recently been having calls with private equity firms and family office companies because they've been doing a lot of digging into us and have expressed interest in us. And I politely say thanks, but no thanks. And it
Nice.
makes me feel really cool
Yeah,
that, that we're on people's radar, that we're enough that they're
you're
interested
doing
in
something
buying
right.
us
Yep.
or right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that also gives me that more motivation because it's like, well, shoot, these guys are checking us out and they're booking calls with me because they want to talk. It's actually one of the biggest companies in the nonprofit space.
Mhm.
They sent their PE firm on. They're owned by a PE firm, and they're their bitch, and they're owned by them. And they trolled us heavily. They were interested in, so we had a call with them because they were interested in our marketing automations. And the whole conversation was laughing in my head because if they knew 90% of my tech was go high levels marketing automations, they had basically been buying up little companies in the nonprofit space and Frankensteining them together for this system. And I'm just like,
Yep.
nah, I'm cool, dude.
Yeah. Fair enough. Tell me, a 20-year-old comes to you, one of your kids, and a son, a daughter, a niece, or a nephew, and says, "I've just left school. What should I be doing with myself?" What would you tell them?
I would say sit down, figure out what you're really good at,
Mhm.
figure out what skills you have and how you can go out there and
Have
turn
a
it
go.
into something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have the potential to do stuff, but not everybody actualizes on it. But the truth is I also tell people, listen, some people are great for running their own businesses and being running
That's
that,
right.
but
Yeah.
other people need a 9 to 5, and it's okay that
Yeah.
you I
That's right.
talked to a lot of I talked to a lot of
Yeah.
people about this because people
Yeah.
come to me
Stay in
with
your
this, and
lane.
I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
like if you're great, if you don't have the drive to be working for yourself and eating what you kill, and it's hard because people come to me and they're like, oh man, you
You're
do
so
this and this,
lucky.
how do I be like you? I'm like, you don't want my shit. You do not want, like, you see here but you don't see there.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, keep a 9 to 5 but focus on what you're doing and
Yeah.
and figure out something on the side.
You get a
That's
side gig
all.
if need be. Yeah. I tell people if they're 20, I say, listen, my friend, go out and stuff it up. You can stuff it up until you're 30 and you're still young enough to,
Right.
start all over again. And I
Yep.
also tell people travel broadens the mind. You're going to meet like-minded people and have wonderful experiences. And reach out to someone like you and get a mentor. A mentor can save years off the journey because there's people who've been ahead
Yeah.
of you. So learn from their mistakes.
No,
It's
absolutely.
not that hard. Not that
But
hard, guys.
you also
Ask.
you have to learn from your mistakes. Yeah,
Yeah,
and exactly, ask. Like,
yeah,
if you don't know something, ask. Like, what's the
yeah,
worst that's gonna happen? Someone will say no.
yeah. That's it. Move on to the next one. Who says yes? Right. When I ask for
Hmm.
when I'm overseas, I ask directions. My girl, she goes. The guy says, "Go left." I go, "No, no. Let's ask one more." She says, "Why is that?" Next guy says, "Go right." I said, "See, that's why." Because one said left, one said right. So we're back to
Exactly.
square one. So get a second opinion. Tell us, looking ahead, you're only at base camp, you're a young man. What are your goals and aspirations for the future? What are you going to be doing?
Honestly, I want to keep growing Givesuite, and
Mhm.
I always joke that at the end, when I retire, maybe I'll become a DJ. My wife's like, no, you're not going to do that. But just keep running Givesuite, growing Givesuite to make it the best company possible and never sell
Yeah,
out.
yeah, that's right. Learn every day. Keep moving. Keep moving. The secret. Someone was talking to me today about Think and Grow Rich. I said I'm writing a book at the
Mm.
moment called Act and Grow Rich. So people are going to think it's a prelude, you know. So
Mm.
watch out for it. Tell our listeners what's the best way to reach out and find out about you and your amazing services. How would they do that?
So so you can hit me up on my email, Sean, SEAN at givesuite.com. My door's always open. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. You can
LinkedIn's a
hit
good
me
one.
up on, yeah, definitely. I think those are the best. And you can go to our website and watch all my videos and watch all their content.
Fantastic. There you go, guys. Proof's in the pudding.
And if your listeners are in the nonprofit world and they're looking for a new system, you can try GiveSuite out for 60 days.
There you go, guys. There's the offer, guys. So you'd be mad not to take up this offer. And it's easy as picking up your phone, guys. Virtual cup of coffee, remember? Guys, 15 minutes of
Mm-hmm.
fame. It's like talking to a friend. It's all about you. And what we do with this, very, very unique compared to other people's podcasts, guys. We outsource it to a professional videographer. He in turn takes 2 days, turns it into a mini movie, and just to help you get a kickstart, we put it on Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and our new school platform with all your social media links, potentially putting you in front of hundreds of prospects. We get you to put on your email, your website, go on LinkedIn. I was interviewed by the guru, etc. Get it out there. And I'm proud to say we had a guy reach out just a few weeks ago. He got $1 million contract 6 months after the podcast from a leading hotel chain because he did what I told him to do. He kept promoting himself, and they picked it up from the podcast. How cool is that?
That's way cool.
Yeah, I loved it.
That is way cool.
That's what it's all about. Before we wrap it up, Sean, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
Oh, I play like 6 different instruments: drums, guitar,
Wow.
piano, saxophone. Yeah.
I'll tell you a fun fact.
I like to play music.
I just came back from Shenzhen, which is near Hong Kong, and across the border. And I went to a nightclub, and the curtains opened up. It was this beautiful Chinese girl, 5'9", beautiful. And she's ready to sing a song. Okay, hit it, boys. And there's a trumpeter, a pianist, a whole lot. They were all robots. Imagine that.
That's funny.
All robots playing. And then you close your eyes, and honest to God, you thought you were at a bloody concert. It was bloody fantastic. It was a bit eerie.
That's so funny.
Seeing all these robots playing instruments. Pretty cool. My friend, you've been an awesome guest. So we're going to wrap it up. Any last words for our audience before we wrap it up?
Just thanks for having me. And like I said, if anybody's interested in learning more about Givesuite, check us out on our site, givesuite.com. You can check out our podcast, Beyond the Bottom Line and Profiting with Nonprofits. Beyond the Bottom Line is on YouTube, Beyond the Bottom Line Show, and Profiting with Nonprofits is on all major podcasting platforms. So yeah, I mean, thanks so much for having me. It was a real blast.
No trouble. We're going to drop all your links on the bottom, and people are going to be reaching out to you. Thanks very much, my friend.